Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded August 10th, 2021, and as always, we are going to be talking about what is hot in the world of Xbox, what's coming and going on Game Pass each and every week. We want to thank you for taking the time to listen to us, Nick, and my co-host Sean. Man, what has been happening with you this week?
Um, not a great deal. Nope. It's pretty much the same as always.
All right, well, that was great. Thanks for tuning. No,
Yep,
I'm just
yep.
kidding.
No, it was cool. We had some. It been busy at work doing some stuff that we don't normally do. The unit that I've been kind of like the outside man for a while has gone on outage. So every summer they take a unit off. They'll do a load of like inspection work and
Excuse me,
like
my bad.
press and do like
No
work
technical
that
issues
kind of
over here.
can only be done while the unit's offload for a long period of time. So that's come off. So lots of other stuff and bits and pieces that I've not really seen before for the current power station that I work that has been really interesting. So other other than work related stuff, it's kind of the same. We've got a family member that's not very well. Lindsay's grandfather's been quite poorly. He's still in hospital, but he's now moved to a different hospital. So we've got a bit more to do for that.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of trying to help her grandma as much as possible because she's obviously not doing very well with him not being there because they've been married for over, is it 50 or 60 years? Could be 60 years. So,
That's a lot
they've
of
kind of never
years.
been fair. So
Yeah.
we've been doing his best along with Lindsay's dad, trying to kind of like get her grandma through to see her granddad and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just been busy. We've got some stuff planned for the kiddos though. The new Paw Patrol movie comes out next week, or is
Yeah.
out, sorry. So Logan's very excited. So we're going out Monday to do that. Other than that, it's just been like school holidays, man. It's crazy. So we like trying to do is get the kids out and about as much as possible. But then also trying to get some time in, just me and Lindsay. So with like Lindsay's been joining me in the gym and lifting now. So like on her fitness and weight loss journey that she's been doing, she's now started coming to the gym with me, which is fun. So
That's awesome. Good
yeah,
for her and good for you.
she's 2.5 pounds away from losing 70 pounds since January.
Oh my
So
gosh, that's amazing.
yeah,
Awesome.
she's doing really well.
Wow, kudos to her. That is really impressive. I know that battle. I've gained some of it back, but when I was when I was just out of college, I weighed 260 pounds. So then I lost 80, and I've slowly gained about 20 of it back. But yeah, I know that battle. It is a tough road.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm a little bit off my fighting weight. I'm around 220 at the moment, but I'm quite tall, and so yeah.
I'm quite short, so there you go.
I don't know. How tall are you? This is the thing. I only ever really see Nick from like the
Yeah, it's
shoulders
true,
up.
right? Yeah.
I've never really
I'm
seen.
a whopping 5'8". So
I'm only like I'm 6 foot, so that's not much. There's not much in it.
that's 4 inches. I never in a million years looked down on anybody. Like I just never,
Is
like it has
is
never
that
happened.
4 inches? Or is that after dark
That's enough
joke?
to
Sorry,
that's enough to get it done, Sean. That's all you need to know. Oh wow, we
it's
really
enough
went
to fill a
somewhere we
pram.
shouldn't have. To bring it back, my favorite story is I was walking through a store once, and this I heard this voice of this lady's like, "Sir, could you get this? Could you reach up there? You're no, sir, you're tall. Could you get up there and get that?" Sean, I didn't even turn around. Ain't nobody ever called me tall. Okay, and so like I just keep walking, thinking I couldn't tell where the voice was coming from, but I didn't think it was talking to me. And so then all of a sudden I hear this. There's no reason to be so rude. You could at least say no. And I'm turning around to be like, wow, what jerk is this? And the lady's like staring at me, and I'm like, oh, you're calling me tall? Oh, yeah, I'll get that for you. Sure, no problem. It was like this elderly. She's probably like 5 foot. I was like, sorry, nobody ever calls me tall. So yeah, it was. That's my tall joke. Um, but anyways, I have another great story for this podcast. I was telling you, and if you're on the Discord, you've seen the picture of my son putting together my street sign for work, which is just fantastic. He got all the he tried his darndest. He got all the letters on one side backwards. And he tried really hard, and he got it figured out, and he wanted to do it on his own. So kudos to him. I was like, I'll help you, bud. And he's like, no, I'm gonna get it. And I'm like, all right, you do it. But that's not the funny story. The funny story is, in the morning I get in, and this guy walks in, and he is like a software salesman trying to sell me on a new CRM because I work for a nonprofit. So normally I just say no to these kind of things, but we are kind of searching around. So I was like, okay, sure. And so we sit down. I have a conversation with him for like 30 minutes. Finally, I'm like, listen, get to the price, and it's way more expensive than we can afford in our budget for my organization. And so I was like, okay. Well, thanks. I'll think about it, and we'll see what we can do, and I'll let you know. And he was like, okay. I was like, why don't you just send me some info? And he's like, okay. And I do like my fist bump with him, and he starts to walk. And I need to back up and say I introduced him to Noah. Like Noah was in the conference room. I have the kids at work now. Noah's in the conference room, so I'm like, hey, this is so and so. This is my son Noah. Okay. Noah was on the other side of the conference table, just coloring. Never said a word other than hi to him at the very beginning. And so he's getting ready to leave the conference room, and I'm standing up, getting ready to walk him out. And he turns around to me and he says, "Just be on." He's like, "What's the chance that you're like really interested in buying this?" And I'm like trying to get my thoughts in order to be like, I'm sorry, man, it's just probably not in the budget or whatever. Before I have a chance to say anything, my son looks up and he said he'll think about it, which for dad means no. And I was just like, I couldn't help it. I just started to bust out laughing, and the guy, I felt really bad. I was getting ready to like compose myself, but by the time I got there, he was already like out of the conference room and gone. And I felt really bad. But my son was like, I didn't really even know what to say to Noah. I was like, well, he's not wrong. That is usually what that means. Like, I'll think about it. That's usually my way of being like, probably not.
That's ace. So like Noah sat there, and I can only imagine that the conference room desk is really big. So he sat there in his big grand desk, and he's like his entire input to that meeting was basically it was a business meeting. It was no, like, see ya.
yeah, and he nailed it. He was not wrong. Yeah, I was like, okay. So that was that was the best. I was just like, well, yeah, the kid's not wrong, so whatever. We'll just move on.
See, this teaches me things sometimes when you look at because he was blunt, and you're there like you're trying to compose, you're trying to be polite. This guy's like, obviously he's doing his job, and there was just like, no.
Yeah, not gonna happen, pal. Let me tell you. And he wasn't wrong, like I said. So, anyways, that's my parenting story for this podcast, and there will probably be more because the kids are in the office with me until the end of August. So I'm sure that was just day one, by the way. So I'm sure we got lots more coming. Anyways, let's actually talk about some Xbox stuff. So top stories for this week. We got some stuff. It's not totally quiet, but also I feel like it's gearing up. Xbox dropped that they are going to do a stream at right before Gamescom. They're calling it their Gamescom 2021 stream, which is funny because it's right before Jeff Keighley's thing. So I feel like that was like their way of being like poke. So we'll see what happens there. August 24th at 1 p.m. Not that I really think that maybe they have an issue with him. It just seems funny to me. Somebody's always dropping right into his stuff, it seems like. But then I guess he kind of drops into everybody else's stuff too. So I don't know. Anyways, so save the date. Look, their whole thing is save the date for new looks at upcoming games during the Gamescom 2021 stream. Makes me feel like it's probably not going to be any groundbreaking new stuff. It's going to be new looks at stuff we know. That's what That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I'm in Scotland. That is our little family vacation. We are going to be in not quite the Highlands. We're in the Galloway coast. So yeah, it's not in the Highlands, but it's in a nice part of Scotland. I'm going to try because 1 p.m. EMT is like 6 p.m. UK. So I'm gonna take my phone, I'm gonna take my headphones, and I'm gonna try and at least either drop in, and if you do something live, catch the live and be in the chat. Depending on what we've got signal wise, I will also try and drop in on a Zoom call on my phone. So I probably won't be the greatest of audio, but I shall be present. I shall try my best to be present.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, well, like I said, man, if you can, that's great. I totally get it. It's a family vacation. Do what you can and do what keeps the wife happy. That's yeah. So I'm
yeah,
just
6 p.m. is normally feeding time for the children. So.
feeding time. Look, it sounds
Feeding
like you're
time
just
for
like
the little
throwing out
infants.
chum to them. Feed. Also,
It's usually how it happens.
yeah. Yeah, I really feel like maybe we get a Halo Infinite date there. Um, they had a beta version for people who Xbox really likes. I was not in that group of people, obviously. People have said it looks really great. People have also said it plays a lot like Halo. So I don't even really know what that means. Halo of old, they say. So
is it- that's good if it's Halo of old. If it's
yeah,
like modern day Halo and everybody's bouncing off every surface possible, then that'd really bug the crap out of me, because it just did bug the crap out. But if it's like, okay, you get a double jump and that's it, no, excuse me, no wall running, no like double jump boost, wall run, slide, jump,
mm-hmm.
bounce, all that jazz, then yeah, that'd probably annoy me, putting it politely.
Yeah, and so this was only for the multiplayer, by the way. It was not. None of the single campaign has been seen yet by this in this beta gig. But I just feel like we got to be getting a Halo Infinite date soon. I mean, if it's coming out this year, you know, I don't know. Just feels like it's got to be sometime soon. So now seems like a
I
good
still
time as
say it's
any.
going to be a yeah. I still say it's either going to be an early like fall release or almost Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I could see almost Christmas. That makes sense. You got to know you like we've talked about this. You got Forza in November. So if you don't want to go up against, and when is Battlefield? I can't remember. That was the
October
other
20,
thing.
October 21,
Yeah, I think it's
21st.
it's
Yeah.
December. I think it's got to be December. I mean, it's not gonna go up again. You're not gonna put it right at Battlefield. That seems like a crazy idea. Um, they're gonna give
It's a
Forza some room.
ballsy move, but
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
I mean, you'd have to really have some confidence in your game to be like, hey, let's just drop it right here. And isn't Battlefield supposed to be like Xbox's Call of Duty? Like I don't know. It just seems like you're eating into your friends.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah, kind of. It's like they've pulled that from DICE, haven't they? Where Sony have got hold of Activision and that side of Call of Duty, and so yeah, they've got kind of got hold of DICE and are using that as a face out there at the moment for it.
Yeah, it
So
seems that way. So yeah, I don't know, but I think you're right. I think it has to be December. Either that or they're gonna put it out. It could be late November. I mean, Forza comes out 11/9. Those aren't the same. That's not really the same pie, but it kind of is. I mean, I don't know. I think Halo players are going to be playing Forza somewhat, but I don't think you want to lay them on top of one another. I guess is what I'm. So.
no, but you could do, because it's early November for Forza. You could do late November for Fallout. Jeez, for Halo, because then you've got a group of people that will play Forza because they're diehard Forza fans, and you've got a group of people that will play Forza because they've got nothing else to play because they usually play Halo or are
Mm-hmm.
anticipating Halo coming out. So they've bought Game Pass because new Halo games coming to Game
Mm-hmm.
Pass and all the niceness of that. So they think, I'll play Forza for a little bit. So you've got people coming to that, and then all of a sudden you drop Halo at the end of November, and you've kind of got people then playing two of your biggest name games
Yeah.
on a
Also,
subscription service.
this kind of rolls into another one of our top news, and I just kind of threw this in there because it's a question I've been kind of going over in my head. This kind of rolls into that question of like, does Xbox even does with Game Pass? Does Xbox even really care about stuff like that? Like, do they even think about well, we don't want those games to be on top of one another because then they won't sell as well. I mean, with Game Pass, I mean, how much do they? And my question was like, how has Game Pass changed how gamers do things? How their behavior in the game space? And I guess there's the other side of that question is how has Game Pass changed how Xbox works in that game space? Like, do they care? I mean,
Yeah. I just see not knowing how they get the money out of Game Pass because we keep having really good stabs at like okay, so they've got to have a deal. So you know, apart from like games like Forza where they've created it and to an extent Halo Infinite. So you want to look at things like Rockstar, Grand Theft Auto that they've just lost, and with EA, with the bunch of games we're going to talk about from EA later. Um, that Xbox or Microsoft have got to have laid down some cash for that, saying, look, okay, we can guarantee you that 25,000 people are going to download your game and play it. And we can keep it on our subscription service for 12 months. So here's X amount of cash. Here you go. Thank you very much. And then Microsoft kind of like sit back and think, right, okay, realistically, how many of those people are actually going to play this game? And then they've got to take out how much they earn from the subscription service. And there's got to be an algorithm for them to balance it out because otherwise it's just bad business. I mean, for all we know, Game Pass could be absolutely bleeding Microsoft, and they're doing stuff like bringing Halo to it and their big name games to it, hoping that more people will use the subscription service
yeah, it
because it's
could.
bleeding them dry.
Yeah, I
But at the
mean,
same, we just don't know because there's never any information about it. You cannot
yeah,
find anything on Google and say how much is Game Pass making
yeah,
Microsoft because it's so absorbed into the business. It's unreal.
yeah. It's true. I mean, I find it hard that that Game Pass would be. There's two things here. One, I do find it hard that would be the case, only because Xbox, the machines themselves. We know they sell either at cost or below cost. They're losing money on them at the more than likely. Um, and so if they're losing money on the machines and they're losing money on their main service that most people get the software, which I just have I don't think that's the case, but it could be. You're right. We don't really know much
You see,
about it.
yeah, but Game Pass isn't their main service though, is it? Because if you want to play online, you have to have a gold account if you want to play other than the free to play games, so Fortnite, Rocket League, stuff like. If you want to play online with other people, so you can't play Call of Duty Warzone online. Can you play Call of Duty? No, you can't play Call of Duty multiplayer online unless you have gold, which is either like what is it, 60 pounds, £70 for the year, or you pay a monthly fee of 10.99, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
but
still
so that can come with Game Pass, right? Like if you have Game
you,
Pass, it
yeah.
comes with it,
So
all
it does,
wrapped
yeah.
in.
So
Yeah,
I pay £12 a month for Game Pass and Gold, or you could not have Game Pass and pay like 10.99 a month. So it's like an extra £2 for 100 games a month.
yeah, it's a good. We should really like dive deep into Xbox sales at some point. Do some real research and see a Game Pass sales, maybe see what we can find, see what rumors we can dig up, see what other people. I can tell you that I know. I've heard from other podcasts, and I think I've read. It was on the Eurogamer site that Microsoft has said that Xbox Series S and X is their fastest selling console. You know, for whatever that means. Doesn't it might not mean much,
Is it?
to be
Is that
honest.
is that fastest selling consoles on how many they actually made? Because they only made barely enough.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't know. That those are the things with sale figures, right? I mean, there's a million ways you can slice the pie to make it look good or bad depending on what you want to
Yeah.
pull out and how you want to do it. That always makes it interesting. But yeah, I just feel like for me Game Pass well, I'll just go for me. For me, Game Pass changes the way that I look at what I'm going to purchase um for or even the Switch. It's not just Xbox. It's not just the Xbox ecosystem. I own a Switch and I own an Xbox. I will look at a game on the Switch and say that's probably coming to Game. Like that. Maybe not now. Maybe it's not there now, but it probably is gonna be. So I'll probably hold off. Like how many Game Pass subscribers do that? Or like there was a sale for Valhalla for like $35. It was like 60% off. It was the gold edition, normally like 90 some bucks. And I was like, oh, hey, $35? I'm not gonna do that. It's just like it's this gigantic like 100-hour game that I'm like, $35? I'm not paying $35. I don't know. It's just like I think Game Pass does this to gamers, and I wonder how good it is for Xbox in the long run and for developers and publishers in the short run.
So yeah, okay. Let's put it this way. The last game I bought, and this is gonna I might get a little bit of criticism for this. So the last game I bought was Cyberpunk when it was
Wow.
released. I bought it. I haven't played it.
I bet you haven't.
I haven't. Nope, because my Xbox One S would not run it. So this was back when we was doing the like I think Dan was still with us for Animal Crossing.
No.
So this is going we're going.
Oh, that you
Yeah.
pre-ordered it, you mean?
No, that I pre-ordered it ready for download. So
Oh, okay. Okay,
and then
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
released. It wouldn't play on my Xbox One S. So I kind of gave up. It just crashed. It would not handle it. Then I got the Series X, and I still haven't. It's not even been downloaded to the Series X.
Well, now I
Yeah,
want to know
I
if
now
it
have
plays well on the Series
yeah,
X.
exactly. I'm like, I haven't played it, because I have Game Pass. So, and now we're doing this. I get to see what cool stuff's coming out. Like, I'm excited about the releases this week because there's games on there that I will absolutely play to the cows come home. So,
That is
I,
awesome.
I
I'm
other
really
than
excited for you.
Cyberpunk,
That makes one of us.
months and months, yeah. Other than Cyberpunk, months and months ago, I haven't bought a single Xbox game. Other than that,
I
since the release of Call of Duty that let me play Warzone. And that's only because I wanted to play Warzone, which is now actually a free game that you can download. They actually made it free. So,
That's a real kick in the nuts. Um, I
so
have
I,
not. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
can honestly say that I haven't purchased an actual Xbox game because of Game Pass. So, yeah, if you want to say how does it change it, that's how it changes it. Is the I haven't bought one, so
Yeah, and I haven't either. I have bought my series. I bought my Xbox. When I got it on release day. On release day, I I have not bought a single game, and I can't fathom that I'm going to anytime soon. I will say, I almost pulled the trigger on Valhalla. I mean, I love myself the Vikings lore and culture and all that jazz is I'm big into that. I think it's really cool, and so I really do kind of want to play that game. I could give a crap less about the Assassin's Creed part of it. Like they could have just made it a Vikings game, and that would have made me probably even happier. But whatever. Um, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't because I was like, well, $35. I don't know about that, and so I didn't do it. And yeah, I just man, they have to really be making the cash off of Game Pass because they're certainly like it seems to me cutting themselves at the knees when it comes to like regular software sales, like how you would normally buy. Even digital, not like physical, but just software
yeah.
sales in general.
And then the other side of it for how has Game Pass changed how we do things? I'm playing more genres of games now than I would have ever played before. So like I'd have never even tried to look at Sea of Thieves because I'd have just been like, it's not for me. And then
Yeah,
I played it because we've been doing this and because it's free on Game Pass and I absolutely same with it's like you with Grounded. You'd have probably never
nope.
really stumbled across Grounded and
Nope.
unless you'd have watched somebody playing it on YouTube and you'd be like, I will try that. So
Yeah, no, I
that's
was
the other side of it.
actually. I don't even know how much that game costs. Grounded. I have no, like, that's the other thing. Like, how many of these games, like, I did a stream of Omno, for us, and then Justin was like, hey, Omno's coming out for, the Switch too. Could you just do and then could you just do the Let's Play and then throw it over to us and we'll put it on YouTube? And I was like, sure, yeah, that's great. And so I'm getting there. I'm like, hey, it's coming out on Switch too. If you want to play it, I have no idea how much this game costs. Like, I don't even know what to like. Normally, when I do a review for the Nintendo Dads, I'm like, yeah, and it's $13.99 right now on the eShop. Go and you can get it this day. I'm like, I have no idea how much this game's gonna cost. I don't know if it's a $10 game, a $30 game. Don't ask me. I didn't look it up.
Because and I need to word this right because like the guys over at Dads After Dark kind of badger it a little bit, but it's because you got that game for free.
That's right.
With your subscription at Xbox Game Pass.
Very good. Yeah, that was perfect. You did it perfect. Yeah, and so it's just like I don't pay attention to how much games cost. And I do. I try all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've tried more stuff, but how much stuff do I finish? None.
Yeah. Like
none. I don't finish none.
What have I've got games that I've started for the streaming side of things that I like that game. I'm going to play it to the end and have like either archived it so it's still there on the dashboard so I can just like load it up and it'll load re-download it and I can play it pretty much instantaneous. When my internet's working, it's fast.
Yeah.
But it's like me, it just doesn't like to work. But
I can understand that. Try to work with kids. That's even better.
It's one of the things they never say to do. Don't work with animals or children.
That's right. Now I feel like I'm working with both somehow.
But,
I don't even understand how.
But yeah, it's a great service and it's fantastic. But it really has it's opened the doors to a lot of different games. It's like you say, you kind of forget the price of games. And they're like, I'll walk into like Game in the UK. We have Game where you guys have like, is it GameSpot? GameStop. And like I'll be looking at the shelves and I'm thinking, that game's £40. It's free at home.
Yeah.
Why would they? So.
Yeah, it is utterly crazy. And then on top of that, like, I don't know, on top of that, they even do these like free play days, right? Like, I mean, so I tried Far Cry 5 this weekend for a hot second. I didn't play very much of it because I didn't have much time to spend in it on a weekend. But like, they give you a weekend where they're like, and that I understand a little bit more, right? Like, if I would have fallen in love with Far Cry 5, then I have to purchase it after that Sunday, unless I can beat it in a weekend, which maybe somebody can. I certainly can. So that I understand a little bit more. There's some hook, but with Game Pass, yes, games fall off, and so you might end up like if Grounded falls off, I'm in a world of hurt, and that'll be my first game that I purchase. I'll just say that right now. If they tell me tomorrow Grounded is no longer on Xbox Game Pass as of the end of the week, I'll be like, well, how much does it cost? Because I'm buying it. So there is that, but they don't fall off that quick. Like it's just not something that happens.
It's currently $30.
That's actually a really good price for that game, in my opinion. But I'm a shill for that game, so I'll be honest about that.
The good thing with that, well, the interesting thing, it's $30. It's a game preview. That game is not finished.
Yeah, it's like, is Fortnite considered finished yet?
No.
Yeah, isn't it still in beta? I think it's going to be one of those games.
Yeah, but Fortnite's different in the aspect of that they keep adding seasons and map updates. Where Grounded isn't that kind of game, is it? It's a sandbox game basically, and they're classing it as it's unfinished. It's even a warning that you get when you play the game that this game is unfinished, that you could experience difficulties and stuff like that. So yeah,
maybe they went to go make it gold and they were like, "Holy shit, this game has a ton of bugs. Let's just call it a beta and push it out." That's what I think they did. That's gonna.
Now
That's.
I have to ask the question of: do you mean bugs as in bugs that are actually in the game and you get to kill
Ah!
and have to run away from, or bugs as in glitching?
To be honest, I haven't come across that many bugs. There have been a couple. And actually, the biggest bug I came across was actually added in the Shroom and Doom update. The quicker zoom totally got ganked in that game when the Shroom and Doom update came out. It's since been fixed, but on the Xbox it was pretty bad. But for me, I haven't noticed that much stuff. But anyways, tell us what you guys think. In comments on YouTube, hit us up on Twitter, Discord, and Nintendo Dads. Let us know how Game Pass has changed how you play, or how you feel about it. But that's how it's changed how we play. So, anything else on that before I move on, Sean?
No. I think we hit that quite well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So Up Rezzed Hellblade. This was big news for Xbox. They've pushed it a couple times. 4K, 120 frames, updated particly type things, ray tracing, all that fancy pants stuff. And you can select your chapter.
Basically, what they did to Doom Eternal a month ago, they've done to Hellblade now.
Yep. Yeah, they're just rolling them out. They're like, hey, here's the next one, and they seem to be rolling them out. I mean, we know Hellblade 2 is in development. It got pushed in E3 and for Xbox. So yeah, I mean they're like, hey, this game's coming out, the sequel's coming out, and here look, play this prettier version of the game. Sure, why not? I played it through the way it was before. I don't think making it prettier is gonna make me play it again. That was kind of painful for me. It was on the edge of too creepy for me. So I won't be going back to that. So
why would you not want to play more creepy with ray tracing and 4K?
yeah, this sounds twice as bad. Probably would be. That probably would push it over the edge. Something I didn't put in the notes. I wanted to ask you about. I think it was the DICE CEO came out and said you should start viewing Battlefield 2042 as a game of service. Do you care about that? Does that do anything for you? Are you happy, sad, don't care?
A game of service.
Mm-hmm. I think they mean kind of like a Fortnite-y type thing. I wonder if it's not going to get many more like you're gonna start feeling the seasons and you're gonna start seeing stuff like that happen. That's kind of what I take from that. It was a quick clip, so you never really know.
It depends on what they do with it. Fortnite annoyed me because they seem to change it more than I change my underwear. So, like, every time I try to play that game, yeah, well, daily, as everybody, there is the rule of front, back, inside out, front and back again. But if you've watched Big Hero 6, you'll get that joke.
There you go. Yeah.
But no, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, Warzone did it. Warzone's done it. They've done season after season after season, wiped the map, brought it back to 1984, season, and I think I've not played it for a long time. Which, if any of the Warzone family are out there and listening, or I apologize, but busy. It probably wouldn't bother me. It depends on how they did it. I mean,
yeah.
If they brought because what's happened in Warzone is they've kind of made a story about it. So they've picked certain characters out of the roster of characters you can play, and it kind of made a story around it, and that's why the map's changing. Right? I'm not entirely sure they kind of did that with Fortnite. They just came to be picking. Oh, let's do Marvel. Let's do let's bring Keanu Reeves into it. Let's do this. Let's completely black the map out for 24 hours and freak everybody out. But
amazing.
they hit the nail on the head with that bit. But sorry, fly. No, it probably wouldn't bother me. It depends on how difficult this game is when it comes out, because Battlefield is hard, man, and there's no the multiplayer is ridiculously difficult, and this mainly because of the size of the maps, and they don't get much along the lines of aim assist, and there's you don't have any kind of shield. So 9 times out of 10, if you get sniped, you're dead. And the people that play it are really good.
Right. Yeah.
Far
No
better than
doubt.
me. So yeah, like Battlefield is a game that I love, but at the same time I hate because it is so hard. Like I'm okay with Warzone because like you can kind of get away with being somewhat okay with first person shooters, but Battlefield is just a completely different level of difficulty. So
Yeah.
um I'll play it. I'll probably enjoy getting shot a lot and not doing very well, but it depends on how. Yeah, for that being a service style game, depends on how they want to do it. Depends if they bring it as a story or if they just say, okay, so we're adding 2 extra maps, or like we're adding this is now going to be the map on the mass multiplayer. It just depends on how they're doing it.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. I just saw that clip and I was like, I wonder if Sean would care. So hey, that's our top stories in the Xbox Spotlight. What we've been playing, Sean. What you been doing, man?
Well, I did attempt to try and get In Rays of Light done because I've had that game code now for a while, and I have been really excited about playing it. But with everything that's been going on, I kind of haven't had the time to do it. But I kind of like we sat down this evening. We kind of got everything done we wanted to do this evening. We went for a big walk. Me and Lindsay kind of like got the kids to bed and went for a bit of a walk because it's been really nice this evening. And I was like, "Ah, when I get back, we'll chill out for a little bit. We'll watch an episode of because we're watching Atypical on Netflix, which is a fantastic. If you've got a kid that's on the spectrum, or you know somebody that's on the spectrum with ASD, Atypical is amazing to watch on Netflix at the moment. We've really enjoyed it. We've kind of binged all 4 seasons in like two
Huh.
or 3 weeks. It's that good.
I'll
So
have to give it. I'll
it's
have to give it a
fantastic to
look.
watch. Yeah, we've really enjoyed it. So we watched an episode of that, and I thought, right, okay, cool. I will get In Rays of Light done. Sat down and got everything set up, and I think even people in the Discord have noted that they kind of saw the stream start, and then nothing. And thanks to my internet service provider being an absolute bag of dog poo,
Beep.
um, yeah, I was fair. I was fair. I'll keep it clean, even though we don't have to keep it that clean anymore.
That's true. That's true.
I got the flashing purple ring again, which on the hub we've got no internet connection at all. I'm currently doing this again from my mobile hotspot. So yeah, I haven't played that. The amount that I saw of it, so like the first 30 seconds of the intro to the game before you get to the title screen is just this little can that somebody's kicked into the road, and you can kind of like see it rolling around, and then they do a time lapse of how time affects that can and stuff, and the seasons change. And that was really nice to look at. It was really pretty. That's as much as I can say about the game so far. But I am looking forward to playing it, and as soon as I get a bit of time, which should hopefully be after the weekend. What day is it today? It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
So before today is Tuesday. So hopefully sometime at the weekend, maybe Sunday. I might try and get it done Sunday night because we've got less children in the house and stuff. So
well, it's almost
I
almost
will,
Wednesday for you.
Yeah. 10 minutes and it'll be Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will try and get that done. I will get it sorted because I was really excited to play it. I got everything out, I got everything set up for the stream. I'd got myself some drinks and everything set up, so I didn't have to move for an hour and a half. I was like, I'm going to really play this game and do it some justice because I believe it's going to deserve it. But yeah, that failed. The only other thing I've played on the
your
Xbox.
internet failed. You didn't.
Well, yeah. And the only other thing I've played on Xbox is what we did after the stream last week for the podcast, and we played the Ascent, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that game. It was a really nice take on like the last time I played a game where you kind of just pointed and shooted and collected stuff was I can't remember what it was called now, but it was I can't remember. It's an old game where you kind of like you were in an arena and it was top down 2D. You could play 2-player and it was very futuristic. I'm going to Google that in a second when you start talking, and I'll come back to it.
Sounds good.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed the Ascent. It's a game we found it hard. We like kept dying. There was
Yeah.
especially that bit where we had to kill the four um Chrome can't remember the name now.
Chromium people or whatever
But
they
like
were.
the four big guys,
Yeah.
the guys with the rocket launchers that kept
Hmm.
like absolutely killing us in one hit. But no, it was a very nice, it's a very good game. The graphically a really pretty game actually,
It
given
is.
that most of it was just barren post-apocalyptic cyberpunk looking wasteland. But and the guy that we kind of had to work for was pretty fruity with his language, which was funny.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not a kid's game. Not if, at least not if you have an issue
No.
with the language. For your kids. I like it. I had a lot more fun playing with you than I did playing by myself. I don't think it scales very well. Having played by myself, because I felt like we were getting thrown the same enemies that I was getting thrown, and that's why I kind of quit. I also will say you were better at recognizing what the next objective was, so that helped me out a lot because I was often like, I don't know where that. And you were like, "Well, we're over here. We got to kill these people." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that." I was like, "I'm glad you figured that out because I had no idea what was going on." So, but yeah, I enjoyed it in a co-op. I think it'd be fun with get like four people and you go to a rec shop. It was really fun. I will say this: it was really fun when we realized that I could change weapons. Because when I was
Yeah,
walking around with a
that was one thing.
handgun, man, that was horrible. I was just shooting there with like a pea pistol, basically trying to kill these people, and that was bad. But once I realized you could change your loadouts and how to do it, I was like, oh, this is a lot more fun. So yeah,
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that I noticed with the being able to change loadouts was you could change what armor you had and things like that, and the resistance to different stuff. So depending on what the enemies that we were going to be facing, if they were going to be like all melee style enemies, because that was another big difference is there was a lot of melee style people at first. So we had all the tiny little creatures, the ferals,
yeah, the ferals. Yep.
attacking us, and then it went on to actually being against people, and we had people with bats, people that kind of with pistols, and then people that had like machine guns and stuff like that. So you could alter your armor depending on who you were coming up against.
Yeah, that is a good point. There's a lot in that game. Like there's a lot. Like you can change, you can upgrade weapons, you can add to weapons. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to learn in that game. Even we played through the tutorial and then like the first whole mission, and I'm sure there's still more to be taught. Sure. So did you find
Yeah,
that game out?
I did. Yes, it was Smash TV.
Smash TV.
Don't know if you ever played.
Don't think I did.
Yeah. It was. I think it was released around the time of like when RoboCop was big in the cinemas and stuff like that. Because it
Wow, we're
was
going way back.
that. Yeah, way back. That's the last time I played like a top-down style shooter like that. So,
Yeah, that is a long time
I
ago.
used to love that game as well. Smash TV was ace. I used to play that. I used to play it cooperatively with my dad.
That's awesome.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that's going back some.
now I want to look it up and see what this game looks like. Um, the other game I played, Dodgeball Academia. I was interested in this a lot because I love Knockout City. So I thought, well, I wonder what it's like. It certainly is different, obviously, than Knockout City, but the dodgeball is fun. At first, I was like, wow, this is really simple, like catch and throw. But I got just a couple days into my class, um, and they started to add like doing other things, like you could do super throws and charge throws, and they really started to add a bunch of stuff. And then they changed the play where people will be in the front and the back of you, and so it wasn't going to be as one note dodgeball as I at first had feared it was going to be. A lot of dialogue. Like I was tired of clicking the little talkie button. Um, it kind of reminds me, and I cannot think of the name of the game. I meant to look it up. It's a game that Rockstar came out with. Bully. It just hit me.
Yes,
Yeah,
I love that game as well.
yeah. Man, I absolutely adored that game, and I mean, there are a lot of things that are different about it than that, but the whole idea of like you're in this school, you got to come up with this team, you gotta play these people from these different like cliques and different groups and stuff like that. It has in that sense, it has that feel. It obviously is a top-down game. It centers around dodgeball. There's a lot of differences too, but in the sense of you're in the school and you go to class to learn things and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember failing my math class multiple times. In Bully, by the way, not in Dodgeball. So those are the only
Yeah.
two games on
See,
the.
but
Go.
if Bully ever comes to Game Pass, that'll be a great game to do.
Yeah, yeah, I loved Bully. I don't know why, even to be honest, but I did. I remember every time I had a mission to go into the insane asylum, it freaked me out. I was like, damn it, I don't want to go back to that place because that place creeped me out like nobody. Um,
I
so
liked it that once you got the skateboard to move around the grounds. You could actually you could do tricks down the stairs and stuff.
oh yeah,
That like kept me amused for absolutely ages.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That game, no, that game was solid, 100%. Um, and other than Grounded, I'm trying to build a castle. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just because I can. I don't need to build a castle. I have no purpose. My cottage on the lake was certainly suffice, but it didn't feel grandiose enough for me. So I went in the middle of the forest and started to chop down grass and lay down a foundation so that I could build a castle. And when that's done,
Are
I'll
you
share a
not
picture.
worried about Are you not worried about getting spiders inside your castle? Because the spiders in that game are pretty big.
Ain't no spider getting in these. I am going full on. I am doing the mushroom walls. So I am grinding up mushrooms and making it into paste and making them into bricks. It's painful. But it's like I will say they nailed building. I think I've said that in previous cast. They nailed building. It's so much fun. Especially coming from Animal Crossing, where it was such a painstaking process to be like, place a fence, place a fence. I don't like that fence there. Now I have to like make it go away and do it again, or like move a building took an entire day, and then you were like one half a block off, and you're like, shit. Now I have to move it again so I can move it again. And I mean, it was just like It's so easy. It's like they've gotten it just right. There's enough realism in the building where it feels good, but not so much realism that it's painstaking. I mean, I build for a living. I know how horrible it is. I don't want to have to deal with that in my games either. But I don't want to also feel like I can put this floor up here and float it in the air. No, they do it enough to where they're like, hey, that's unsupported. It has to be supported by something. So,
Oh, that's good. They make you work for it, especially when you have to organize the materials first, because it's a logical process. So I like that about games, where like
yeah,
Minecraft isn't a logical process. I'm assuming that's what you mean by you can float something in the air.
yeah,
Um, like there's that's a good game for imagination and stuff like that, but it's not logical. So yeah, I like that.
yeah.
I
It's
like it a
great.
lot.
The blueprint thing is amazing because it lets you build an entire structure, and it'll tell you like as you start doing it, it'll be like, no, you can't place that there. And so instead of spending your resources building half of it and then realizing, oh, I couldn't do what I wanted to because I didn't have that structured right, you can blueprint the whole thing. And if it works, then just get the pieces and make the blueprints come to reality as you get the resources. So that's what I'm doing in Grounded. Sean, breaking news. You just get to talk for the entire breaking news. This is like Jesse's Pokemon minute. I'm not gonna lie. I like Xbox was like, boom, big drop, 1,000 games, and I'm like, wow, I don't. I'm happy for anybody who's happy. So you run through it.
Wow. Where to start? Let's start with. It seems that EA have kind of gone. Bleh. Here's all our racing games.
Yes, that's exactly
And
right.
so you've got the majority of the Dirt franchise coming to Game Pass, which is great if you're a Dirt Rally fan. If you are a stage rally kind of guy, head for like Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0, because they are the two original Dirt games that came out that were basically all just stage rallying. So you will be able to drive rally cars in a career style, and I think multiplayer style on 2.0. I'm not 100% with that. And it's not like, oh, you've got to do this and do that, and you're doing the same races and over. You will do just basically a career of rally events across different stages. If you then, because that's how kind of like how Dirt worked, Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0 were the stage rally games, and then Ken Block got hold of the franchise and took it from just stage rallying, which he does and he's very good at. He wins the 100-acre rally every year. He kind of took it from that and thought, right, okay, people like to watch me do Gymkhana and like all the Gymkhana grid and all the crazy drift racing that they kind of do with that. Let's bring it into the game. So Dirt 3, which isn't on that list, unfortunately, was the original like kind of drifting style, street racing style thing, which they did. So if you like that kind of stuff and you like to watch Ken Block and you like all the Gymkhana style of kind of it and like the rally cross racing and the Gymkhana cross and all that kind of stuff, then get Dirt 4 and 5 because they will be your kind of thing. I think I did. Did I do Dirt 5? I can't remember. There's a
Yeah,
stream out
yeah,
there
yeah.
on
You
our
did Dirt
YouTube
5.
channel
I'm
of one of the Dirt
fairly
games I
yeah.
did,
I'll
which
look.
is
I'll
that.
look to make sure. That'll make me useful.
Yeah, but that's the more arcade style racing. Doing certain like tracks and stuff, purpose-built tracks that the game, like the developers have made for the game, where Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0 are like your realistic stage rally stuff. So you'll have all like the Sicily Islands and things like that. You'll have the the Scottish areas, Costa Rica, those kind of events and islands that the WRC, the World Rally Championship, follows. You've kind of got those, but not named the same because of copyright laws and stuff. So WRC kind of own that. The other games that have come without the format is F1 2019 and F1 2020, which are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. Not so much F1 2019 because that was kind of like a pretty boring F1 year considering without coronavirus. Pretty straightforward. They did the same 21 races that year at the same tracks in the same format. The F1 2020 will follow the kind of layout that they used during the pandemic. So there's going to be the inner and outer races of certain tracks because they had to do that within the restrictions that they were following under 2020. So F1 2020 is going to be the more exciting game to play because you're going to be able to race tracks. If you're a big F1 fan like me, you're going to be able to race tracks that you haven't been on before. There's a certain track that they used which was just insanely fast. I mean, like the lap time was under a minute. It was that quick to get around it. They ended up doing like nearly 80 laps of that track when they did it. So that's probably going to be the more exciting game to play. And I also believe it's the more graphically prettier game to play because it was out with the next gen consoles. So that's that one to look forward to. And then the other game that they're dropping is Grid. And we've talked about that before. That is the on the edge of simulator style racing and arcade style. So that's kind of like if you like racing simulators like F1 2019 and 2020 and Forza Motorsport, go get Grid if you want something that you can kind of take your mind off a little bit and race with some simulation aspect and with small amounts of arcade. So, they've done really well. They've kind of catered to everybody's needs for racing with this one big drop, though, which is good.
Okay, so you have done a good job to answer what was going to be my last question on the show notes, which is why do they need so many damn car games? But you did a good job to answer it, so I'll take it. And like I said, I don't care if your game's here. I'm happy that you're happy. That's all that matters to me. So I have no hate for anybody's game. Play it, man. So
if you're new to rallying games and you want to kind of get used to handling a car off-road in arcade style. They did really well with Rally and Rally 2.0 to kind of keep it somewhat realistic. Go play them first, because you'll get a really good idea of, I can't just hold down the accelerator and go. So
Yeah, there is a part of me that wants to like download and just play these for a hot second, not on stream, because that would be a wreck, literally and figuratively. And so I mean, but I'm probably not. So that's what's out this week. A lot of racing games, so race your heart out. Party chat. We have a question from good old Seth from All In Podcast. He asks, which Xbox original game is the best, and why is it Jet Set Radio? That's what he asks. What's your thoughts, Sean?
Well, we've looked through a list of what is classed as an Xbox originals, and unfortunately, Jet Set Radio isn't in that list because it isn't a Microsoft game. That game was originally out on the Dreamcast. Yep. So it came to Xbox, and I think it came to Xbox in the 360 era.
You are correct. Nope, you're right.
So
I looked it up.
So that isn't a Xbox original, but it is a fantastic game, and I absolutely loved it. So I can understand why that might be there. So
I have not played it. I know I'm a horrible person. I have never.
You're not a horrible person.
I'm just kidding.
It was. I loved it on the game. I keep wanting to say Gamecast. That's GameCube and Dreamcast. Just they needed to have a little love child.
Put them together.
But yeah, I used to love the Dreamcast. That was like when I went around to when my best friend had the Dreamcast, I had the GameCube, and when I used to go like to his after school, that's kind of like we played. Was it Tenchu? Was that that was a big game on the Dreamcast? Played a lot of that.
Is that a fighting game?
It was like a RPG. It was probably one of the very early style RPG where you played like a young gentleman in Tokyo, Japan, and you kind of were making your way around. But there was fighting aspects of it and like dojo aspects of it. It was pretty like we used to have to play it in really long stints because it took a lot long to do anything in the game, and there was like a lot of reading, which for two teenage boys took a lot of concentration. So, you have to remind me of the question again now because I've gone off topic.
So, what is the best Xbox original? By the way, the best Dreamcast game, Toy Commander. I'm gonna say that. Don't know if you ever played that game, but I absolutely
Choo Choo Rocket.
I absolutely love Toy Commander. Yeah, I played that game. I like that one too. But Toy Commander, like I sunk so many hours into that game, is ridiculous. So what is the best Xbox original?
I have like a list of 30 games in front of me, which was kind of classed as games that were on the original Xbox. So that's the.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's midnight. We've lost him. Lost him to the yawns.
So the very first game that came to the original Xbox, and I bet you can't guess what that was.
No, I have no idea.
Halo.
Oh,
Halo
really?
Combat Evolved. Yeah, that was the very first.
I really thought you had tricked me. I was like, I have no idea. I figured it was gonna be something random and unknown. That's funny.
So, like, you see, looking at the list, you've got like Burnout 3 Takedown, which was a fun racing game where you basically just crash into other cars for the absolute fun of it.
Wait, didn't that just come out to Switch? I think it just came out on Switch. Like a port. Yeah, okay. Cool. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So that was the hip hop. Is that the best way I can put it? It was the first one that was kind of made and set in LA rather than Vice City or was it New York, Liberty City. This was the first time it was kind of set in Los Angeles. So that was your That was like the big nod to like your old school hip hop, like NWA and the whole Black Power movement and things like that. That was San Andreas. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a really good game. I mean, so if you want to get your value for money, San Andreas was probably a good one. But Fable's on there, and
Yep.
what's the other one I've just seen? I played a lot of Max Payne. I was a big fan of Max Payne, so that was a good.
Fable. That's all
That
you
was
need to
quite
know.
creepy and weird.
Yeah, I played a little bit
Yeah,
of Max Payne.
but it'd be my free to go for if I was to like be given an original Xbox and say, here's all the games. The free I'd pick is Fable, Grand Theft Auto, and Max Payne.
For me, it would be
So,
Fable,
and I'd
Halo.
probably play a
What's the third?
you got Spyro. That was on there. The
Viva
original
Pinata.
Spyro.
Was that
Well,
on
the
their
Legend
Was that on the original Xbox, or is it on Xbox 360?
360.
Bummer. Because I love that game. I don't know. I don't have a third one. So those would be my two. Halo really
Destroy
not.
All Humans. That was.
Oh god, I hated that game. I God bless that game. I played that game on Game Pass not too long ago. I mean, it's just too crude for me. It was probably funny when it came out and the world was a different place and nobody would have said anything, but there were too many sexist jokes in that for me. Just too cringy for me in 2021. Not gonna lie, I just was like, oh my god. I mean, I'm on stream and I'm thinking, I don't want to be on stream with this game. Like, this is just like, ugh. And so I'm sure it was a different world. Whatever. Didn't make it right, but it just is what. Yeah. Anyways, I didn't mean to bring that down. So yeah, Fable would be the best Xbox original for me. I've talked about it forever. It was a game that I've really made me fall in love with the Xbox. It was the first time I at least had ever played that game where I could just do whatever and make my choices and be who I wanted to be, and I absolutely love it. Fable's it.
Yeah. If you wanna talk solely a Microsoft based game that was on the original Xbox, then yes, I'd say Fable's probably the go-to.
So I'll go to. All right, Seth. I hope that answered your question. And I feel like I should play Jet Set Radio. So there you go. So what is the golden ticket? Well, right now nothing has changed in the old golden ticket, which are the games for gold with Xbox, by the way, in case you didn't know. But things will be changing. Rock of Ages will soon be out on 8/15. Actually, by the time you hear this, I don't know. Someone tell me when that is. Is that Sunday? Is that Sunday? I think
Sunday.
it is.
So
Sunday.
the day
So,
after
no.
you hear this.
Yeah, the day after you hear this, if you listen to it right when our podcast drops, which you should. I don't know. Whatever. It will be changing to ukulele, not Ukulele in the Impossible Lair. If it was Ukulele in the Impossible Lair, I would tell you that you should go out and claim that game immediately. Ukulele, I've played them both, was just okay. Not a bad game, it's no Impossible Lair, that's for sure. And then Lost Planet 3.
If you did, is it good to have played the first one before you played the second one? Just
No, it doesn't
try
matter.
and sell this
No.
a little bit.
No, I'm sorry. No, I
Okay,
can't do
well,
it. It doesn't
don't bother
matter.
then.
Don't worry about it. It's like I said, it's not a bad game. It's very Banjo Kazooie esque, and it could just be my bent towards game. And the Impossible Lair feels much more like Donkey Kongish, like Donkey Kong Country ish. So it could just be my bent towards my kind of nostalgia for Donkey Kong Country. But that's how I fall on it. But anyways, Lost Planet 3 leaves also on Sunday. Upcoming, a game I have never heard of, and I'm probably going to slaughter this first word, so, just go with it.
Garumak.
Of the Wolves.
Garumak.
You
Yes.
know what you sounded like? You sounded like one of those Olympic
French.
announcers that when they're like, somebody's getting ready to swim, they're like, up next, Garumak. That's how it sounded. So I have you played this game ever? Do you have any idea what this is?
Nope. I'm currently looking at images of it now.
All right. I'll read the synopsis. The final entry of the original
It
Fatal
looks
Fury series.
very.
We are on a delay. Let me just tell you that right now. For anybody who's like, why the hell do they keep stepping on each other? We are on a serious delay. So go ahead, Sean.
It was a Neo Geo game,
Oh,
which is
that
probably
explains.
why you've never heard of it, because you don't like Neo Geo.
Yeah, that explains.
But it's very much a Street Fighter looking 2D side scrolling punch 'em up.
Next. All right, there we go.
Yep.
So that's your games or that's your golden ticket games with gold. Snatch them up if you want them. Remember, you don't have to download them. You can just. What's on the horizon? Well, there's a shit ton on the horizon. That's the official word. But what's coming out next? Good news, Sean. There's another racing game coming out next.
Yay!
August 12th. Art of the Rally. Man, I was worried there might not be another one coming out this week. You can play that August 12th. August 13th, big one. Hades is coming out. So cloud console and PC. So that's exciting. I'm in on that.
Yeah,
Microsoft.
that game got a lot of following on the Nintendo,
Did you ever play it?
on the Discord, didn't it? No, I didn't,
Okay.
because that means that I've had to buy it. But now it's free with my subscription of Xbox.
That's
Gamepass.
true. That's true. Yeah, I'm down with that. I will give it a shot now. And I feel somewhat horrible for that, right? Some developer put in money on this game, and I'm like, now I'll play it, that it's free. But we're gonna hope that he got a good bank off of from Microsoft to put it on Xbox. That's what we're gonna hope for. The last game coming August 17th, we have Microsoft Solitaire Collection on the PC. There you go, guys. Go good. And the big one for August, at least in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, Psychonauts 2 coming out August 25th. So we will cast again before that comes out. But man, I'm excited about that.
I want to try that game because you really enjoyed the first one, and the Xbox original games didn't age well for me, a bit like N64 games. So I wouldn't want to have tried it because I'd have just fallen out with the fact that it looked absolutely appalling, and it just reminded me that I'm old, because that game was probably like the forefront of graphics when I was young enough to play it originally. So I'd be excited to play the second one. Plus, the information they dropped at E3 was really good for this game. So
I agree with that. There was an Xbox ID event today, actually. Today it came out. I did not get to watch but like 5 minutes of it, and all they played was Rogue Squadron. But Xbox ID's account did drop that Library Ruina. Don't know anything about that. Stardew Valley. So played a shoot ton of that game. Paparazzi. I feel like I got to know more about that. Evil Genius 2, World Domination, and The Artful Escape will all be coming to Game Pass at some point. Did not give release, so we don't know when. But I'm sure if it's anything like what Xbox does, there will be silent drops coming out here, probably in the next week or two on some of these at least.
Paparazzi looks like it'd definitely be our kind of game. If you like taking pictures of dogs that are sleeping in shaded kind of polygon style.
Can you say
graphics.
streaming gold? Because that's what that is right there, Sean. Streaming gold.
Yeah, I think if you played this game on stream without looking at a single video or photo, yes, I would pay good money to watch that because it looks bad. It's like Pokemon Snap with polygon-shaped dogs.
It's streaming gold if you play it and you got the right body type and you're in a hot tub. Then it's streaming gold right there. That's all I got to say.
And you're doing this to the microphone.
That's right. Streaming gold. At least that's when you know you've hit it. Bye-bye is our next segment. Games that are leaving. The only new game leaving is Madden 2019, and I couldn't be happier. Not because I don't like Madden, I actually really do. But how many Madden games, just like how many Madden games do you need on one service? Not 3, not 3. That's the thing. And it's August, so that means another Madden game's coming out, which means 2 at a time. 2 Madden games at any one given time on Game Pass Ultimate's good enough for me. That's all I gotta say. So, and I know Sean, when the new Madden comes out, you have to play it. That we've had this conversation before. You need to play it on stream.
Yes,
it's just
that's
a
very
must. You play that, and I'll play FIFA.
Yep.
There you go. How about that? I feel like this should be a thing we do.
You see, I definitely got the better of the 2 games.
Oh, really? Is that how you?
Because I hate FIFA.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about FIFA, really.
Only because it was like when I was in like my late teens. It was if I was going to my friend's house before we were going out for a few beers. It'd be like, oh yeah, let's play some FIFA. And I'm like, I don't want to play FIFA because I don't like football. For a start, I am one of the very rare UK people that absolutely despise football.
Oh, I didn't know this about you.
I don't understand. It's 22 overly paid gentlemen that are chasing around a bag of wind that as soon as like the tiniest bit of wind touches their leg, they fall over and scream about it. It's like, no.
You just totally insulted like the biggest sport in the world. I love it. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Hey, man.
The way I look at it
as it is.
That yeah. The sport that I follow, I really follow Formula One. And last year, Roman Grosjean, bless him, like had an accident where he drove into a barrier that fast and at the right angle that the back end of the car tore off and burst into flames. And he was stuck inside the barrier, inside the car, for about 50 seconds on fire. The guy walked out and walked away and then was upset that he couldn't race the weekend after. Now, if that was a footballer, he'd have like been, oh, my hair, oh no. I don't do footballers. I don't do football at all. They're paid far too much for what they do. And if you could take 25% of their salary and give it to the NHS or take it over to the US and give it to the nurses and the doctors in the US, so then you guys didn't have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for medical care, I'd rather do that than pay them. So I apologize.
No, it's okay. See, you
like
can
Nick,
get away.
Signing.
I'm signing to children is what I'm signing to, telling them to go upstairs. Oh no, I'm not signing to you to not do that. I'm signing to a child. See, you can get away with that though, because you're from the UK, so it's okay. Like if I start busting on soccer, I'm gonna get like ripped. So that's my personal opinion. So.
No, I just agree with you, and we'd go deeper into that subject. So don't worry about it.
All right. I don't have anything else, Sean. We have made it to the bottom of the dock. Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
Nope. I've still got flashing purple lights, so even trying to play in Rays of Light now is not going to happen. So
it's like the purple ring of death for you.
Yeah, it can kind of sit here and it flashes orange, which means it's trying to connect. And then it goes solid orange, which means it's connecting. And then it flashes purple to tell me that it can't connect and that there's an issue on the line. So, yep.
Bummer.
And it's been like that now for 2 hours.
I'm sorry, bud. That sucks. Technology sucks sometimes.
It does. Yeah. So. And it kind of stops everything from working in the house because, like, we have an Alexa in every room and all the lights are controlled by Alexa. So I now either have to go to bed and leave all the lights on or, do that thing that they do where you touch the light switch. No, who does that?
It's so funny you say that. I just had this conversation with my wife. Like, okay, we have this lamp that sits on, we have a pass-through between the living room and the kitchen. And a lamp sits on that pass-through, and Alexa is tied to that lamp. I am leaning over the pass-through, and I'm like, hey, Alexa, turn off the lamp. Alexa. Oh, whoops, I forgot. There's one down here. Uh, and uh, and and my wife's like, you you are literally like 6 inches from the lamp, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. I can't. I got no good argument to that. That's true. She makes you so lazy.
No,
That's all I gotta say.
we bought into it just after Logan was born because he was so bad with colic and stuff like that. It was unbearable sometimes, and we'd be in the living room and it'd be too bright, and we'd want to turn the lights off, or you like because you've got him in your arms
Mm-hmm.
and like you're picking up his colic medicine, and you're going upstairs and you get to the top of the stairs. Fuck's sake, I've left the light on now. We kind of bought into it. I got Lindsay a dot for Christmas, and she was like, really? You think I'm going to use that? I was like, just give it a try. I've got you a dot and I've got you this plug. They work together, and the plug was for the lamp because she always used the lamp in Logan's room when feeding him and stuff on at night. I was like, just give it a try. That when you hear him in the night, just tell Alexa in the bedroom, turn on the lamp. By the time you get downstairs, the lamp in his bedroom will be on. You can set it so it comes on to a certain it's not super bright.
Right.
And she was like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Let's get one of these ones, one of the bigger ones, and now there's one in every room in the house. So like the kids have got one in their room, there's one in Jay's room, there's one in the kitchen, there's one in the living room, there's one in our bedroom. It's like they are everywhere, and everything works with it. So and it's a good intercom system as well. So it's like when we're cooking dinner downstairs and the kids are playing in their bedroom 2 floors up, rather than yelling through the house or having to make the trip up 2 flights of stairs to then come back down 2 flights of stairs, we can just say, Alexa, announce that dinner's ready, and she rings a dinner bell right through the house, and on every speaker she does, oh, dinner is ready, come to the kitchen. It's like,
Oh,
so
something's going on. Let me tell
that's
you.
how we use it. And
Yeah, we
that
love our
sounded like a Noah. Boys run heavier than girls, so that sounded like a Noah.
probably. Anyways, I think mom's home or something. Who knows? Well, all right,
Cool.
man. You gonna send us out?
I will roll us out. Yep. So that is it from us today. Unless you want us to sit around and talk about how we use AI devices to improve our lives somewhat. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Just search for Gamepass News and you'll find us there. Also, a quick word, you can get in touch with us and chat with us on the Nintendo Dads Discord. We are the Nintendo Dads, Nintendo Dads podcast. That doesn't get any easier to say. So for a little as $1 a month, you can hang out with us and just head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and subscribe to get your access. They do have a tier system on there. I keep meaning to kind of talk about this a little bit, but you get different rewards. You can get early release content on Patreon and stuff like that, depending on your Patreon tier and things like that. And you can be a producer, which is what I used to be, and it was great. You get invited onto their show every quarter of the month and stuff like that. So that's great. But yeah,
But you don't have
do
to
we
be.
want to
For a
talk about
dollar is all you need.
for $1? Yeah, for $1 you get to talk to everybody, which is
Right.
the best part of the Discord. No offense to the Nintendo does, but it is one of the best parts of being a big fan of theirs is that we get to talk to all the other fans, which is
Right.
always good.
Yeah, man.
Do we want to very quickly mention that we're joining them?
Sure, we're here. You did it. So we've already mentioned it.
Just so it is. Okay.
Noah's gonna be in the basement pretty soon, so we gotta
Sounds-
make this quick.
Uh,
Oh, you're looking for
so
a date.
it
I could have
will
helped
be-
you with that. My bad. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's okay. I have to kind of remember. So if you're in America and you listen to the Nintendo Dads live, it will be August 19th at 10 p.m.
Still no
I
help.
believe.
I went to the wrong place.
Yes,
Sure.
10
Yeah,
p.m.
that's fine.
If you listen to the Nintendo Dads live in the UK, which why are you awake at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't know, but I will be. So 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK on August the 20th, which is a Friday. Me and Nick are joining the Nintendo Dads because they've invited us on, which was very nice.
Silly people. We're gonna wreck shop over there. They're gonna never have us on again.
Yep. But yeah, so we're joining those. So you'll hear us on their podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So
Go.
yeah, until then or until next time, we'll see you soon.
See you later, guys.